So yesterday we were talking about number patterns, and we talked about arithmetic number patterns and geometric number patterns. And we basically identified what is the difference between these two things. So now what I want you guys to do is in the chat, I want you guys to tell me, how do you know, or what does the pattern have to have so that we can call it an arithmetic pattern? What are the two things that have to happen in a pattern for it to be called arithmetic? Let's go back to what we talked about yesterday. Yesterday, we said that an arithmetic sequence has to have addition or subtraction. And I see that Alan and Edwin have that in the chat. Very good. So when I have a number pattern that goes 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, that is, I'm adding by 2, then I know that that is an arithmetic sequence. Now let's say that I have a pattern that's 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, something that goes multiplying, then that is what we call a geometric sequence. So arithmetic has to do with addition and subtraction, and geometric has to do with multiplication and division. All right? So those are the two common types of sequences that we have. So what we want to do today is that we want to cover the other types of number patterns. So what we're talking about today is the special patterns. I will go back to this at the end of the class. If we have time, then I will talk to you guys about this one. So we have 4 types of special patterns: square numbers, cubic sequence, triangular numbers, and the Fibonacci sequence. So those are the 4 special sequences that we want to talk about today. All right. So now we're going to start off with the first one. And the first one is easy to understand and to be able to identify. So now the pattern that we call square numbers in mathematics is an integer that is a square of an integer. All right. So for example, if you take a look at what I have here, I have 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100, and that will keep on going. I will have 121, 144, and 169, and that pattern will keep on going. This is what we call the square numbers. This list of numbers, if you see this on a worksheet or you see this somewhere online and they tell you what is this sequence, you're supposed to look at it and you're supposed to say this is a square number sequence. Why? Because all of the numbers in this sequence are squares. So now what are squares? 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 5 is 25. 6 times 6 is 36. And all the numbers that are listed in this pattern are squares of another number. So 1 is the square of 1. 4 is the square of 2. 9 is the square of 3. 16 is the square of 4. 25 is the square of 5. 36 is the square of 6. 100 is the square of 10. And if I were to continue, I would have 121 because 11 times 11 gives me 121. I would have 144 because 12 times 12 gives me 144. I would have 169 because 13 times 13 gives me 169. All right. So then this is what we call the square number patterns, because it's when I times a number by itself, I get this product. So this list of numbers is just all of the products. 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4. And I list all of the answers. Everybody understands what this pattern is about.
Yes, miss. Yes, miss.
Very good. So let's move on to the following one. Cubic sequence. So in the first one, we had square numbers, which are when I multiply 1 times 1, a number by itself. Here I have cubic numbers. Now what are cubics? When I times 1 times 1 times 1, 3 times. 2 times 2 times 2, 3 times. 3 times 3 times 3, 4 times 4 times 4. This is what we call the cubic sequence. So now 1 times 1 times 1 gives me 1. 2 times 2 times 2 gives me 8. 3 times 3 times 3 gives me 27. 4 times 4 times 4 gives me 100 and gives me 64, sorry. 5 times 5 times 5 gives me 125. 6 times 6 times 6 gives me 126. And this meeting can continue on and on and on, right? So this list right here, I only gave you guys the first 8, but the little ellipses at the back, the 3 little dots, that means that this sequence continues and continues. I could have 100 times 100 times 100, and that will give me a cubic number, right? So the first sequence was a number times itself. This cubic sequence is a number times itself again. So we're multiplying the number by itself 3 times, right? So these are the first two special sequences. And again, I stress that this list that I'm giving you at the bottom, that is the only list. That is the only example of cubic sequence. There is no other cubic sequence. This is the only one that there is. Right? And the same thing with the square. There is no other square number sequence. There is only that one that I have shown you. Right? And that's why we call it special, because there's only one of that kind. So now let's look at the triangular numbers. The triangular numbers, the numbers of the pattern of dots that form a triangle will give you a triangular sequence. So I have 1, 3, 6, 10, 15, 21, 28, 36. And I'm going to come back to this one. I'm going to leave this one for last because I have the picture, and then you guys can understand clearly how I get this sequence using the pictures. But I want to go to the Fibonacci sequence. And right now we're going to come back to the triangular sequence. The Fibonacci sequence, the Fibonacci numbers are a sequence of numbers such that each number is the sum of the two preceding ones, starting from 0 and 1. The Fibonacci sequence is as follows: 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, and so on. It continues. Now, how do I get the numbers in this sequence? 0 and 1 will always be my first two numbers. And what the person that invented this sequence did is it took the 0 and the 1 and they added it together. What does that give you? What is 0 plus 1?
1.
1. Very good. So then 1 is the following number. What is 1 plus 2? I mean 1 plus 1, sorry.
2.
And what is 1 plus 2?
3.
And what is 2 plus 3?
5.
And what is 3 plus 5?
8.
And what is 5 plus 8?
13.
And what is 8 plus 13?
21.
And what is 13 plus 21?
34. 34.
So now this person, that is how they made this pattern. So if I want to find the number after 8 and 9, what am I going to do?
Add the 55, miss.
Add the 55 to what?
89.
To the 89. Very good. So then that's what I have to do to get the following number. And when I get that following number, I'm going to add that to the 89 to get the number after that. Right? So every number that comes after this sequence, I have to find, I have to add the two numbers that are before it. So if I wanted to get the 34, I was going to add the 13 and the 21. If I want to get the 8 and 9, I'm going to add the 34 and the 55. If I want to get the number after the 8 and 9, I want to add the 55 and the 8 and 9, and that is going to give me the next number. All right? Everybody understands the Fibonacci sequence?
Yes, miss.
Very good. So now let's do a quick revision. And here at the top, I have the triangular numbers. And this is what I wanted you guys to see so that you understand what the triangle numbers are about. The triangle numbers are just numbers. For example, here they use dots, but how many I use to make a triangle or make a pyramid, right? If you guys have tried to make a pyramid, you have to have 4 at the bottom, 3 on this next row, 2 on the following row, and 1 on the first row, right? If I start with 6 at the bottom, I start with 6, then I put 5, then I put 4, then I put 3, then I put 2, then I put 1. When I add all of those things, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that gives me a triangular number. That is what we call a triangular number. So we always start with 1. Then if I have 2 at the bottom, I have 1 at the top. That gives me 3. If I have 3 at the bottom, 2 in the middle, 1 at the top, that gives me 6. If I have 4 at the bottom, 3, then 2, then 1 at the top, that gives me 10. And if I have 5 at the bottom, 4, 3, 2, 1, that gives me 15. And the pyramid goes increasing and increasing and increasing, and so does the numbers. What is an easy way to remember this? Well, the first number is going to be 1. The second number is going to be 1 plus 2. How much is 1 plus 2?
3.
Very good. The following number is going to be 1 plus 2 plus 3. How much does that give you?
6.
Very good.
6.
The following number is going to be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4.
10.
The following number is going to be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5.
15.
15. Very good. And the following number is going to be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6.
21.
So now, what will be the number after 21?
28.
28. Very good, because I have to do 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7, right? And that will give me 28. So then the following number after 28, I'm going to add 8 to it. And the following number after that, I'm going to add 9 to it. And the following number after that, I'm going to add 10 to it. And that is how this triangular numbers goes increasing. All right? Anybody has any questions?
No,
Okay. Now, this is what we're going to be doing right now. And then we're going to move on into the practice work that I have in Google Classroom. All right? So, what is the pattern rule in these number patterns? One is done for you. So now what we want to talk about right now is a pattern rule that is different from the pattern name. What we talked about yesterday and we talked about right now is the pattern name. There are 6 different pattern names. There is the arithmetic, geometric, square, cubic, triangular, and Fibonacci. Those are pattern names. What we want to do right now is that we want to know the pattern rule. What do I do to get the following number? For example, I give you guys the pattern 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19. That is a pattern. I want to know what the pattern rule is. What did I do to the 9 to get the 11? What did I do to the 15 to get the 17? So forth. In this case, I am adding 2. So adding 2, that is my pattern rule because that is what I am doing. Everybody understands the difference?
Yes, miss.
Very
Yes,
good.
yes,
So are you ready for the first one? And this is what we're going to do. Everybody's going to, we're doing the waterfall again. Everybody's going to type their answer in the chat You're gonna hold your answer so that everybody has time to think about what their answer is gonna be. And then everybody's gonna send it at the same time when I count to 3. Everybody understands? It's not the first time that we're gonna do this, right? So A, we're gonna look at A first. This is the first one. 31, 25, 19, 13, 17, 7, 1. What are we doing in this first pattern? What is gonna be the pattern rule? Think about it, look at what is happening. How from 31 do I go to 25? How to 13 I go to 7, right? Type it, hold it.
Miss,
Yes, Ernest?
we will write the rule. What is the rule?
Yes, you will write. So in the chat, all you're gonna say is add 5 or minus 3 or plus 5, whatever it is. You just want that. That is all that I want in the chat, right? We're not gonna talk about the names right now. And you hold your answer until I say send. Follow instructions. Follow instructions. Hold your answers until I say everybody's gonna send their answer at the same time. You guys are not listening to what I am saying. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's see. Minus 6, subtract 6, minus 6, add or take away 6. Okay, from 31 to go to 25, I subtract 6. From 25 to get 19, I subtract 6. From 19 to 13, I subtract 6. So the pattern rule is minus 6 or subtract 6 or take away 6. Whatever synonym for subtraction you are using, then that is correct. So take a look at the second one, and we can go a little bit more faster. And again, type it, hold it, wait for me to say to send your answers. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. What is happening there? How do I get 4 from 2? How do I get 16 from 8? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, guys, remember that we want to know what the pattern rule is. I don't want to know what the following number is. We want to know what is happening in this pattern. For me to have 2 and then go to 4, I did 2 times 2. For me to have 4 and then go to 8, I did 4 times 2. For me to have 8 and then go to 16, I did 8 times 2. So the pattern rule for this question is multiplying by 2 or times each number by 2. All right. So the first one was add 6. This one is times 2. Look at C. C. You have 9, 16, 23, 30, 37, and 44. What is happening in this pattern? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Send your answers. One second, guys.
Yo mandé eso desde anoche.
Okay, guys, still let's take a look at that one. 9, 16, 23, 30, 37, 44. For me to have 9 and then go to 16, I need to add 7. For me to have 16, then go to 23. You add 7. From 23 to go to 30, I add 7. So the pattern rule in this question is 7. Very good. Adding 7 plus 7. All right. So now, let's look at the second part at the bottom. It says find the missing numbers. Find the missing numbers. So we're going to look at A first. What is going to be the number where I have the little question mark? 98, 87, 76, 65, 54. What will be the following number? Again, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. And then you hold it. And we're going to send it together, right? And this one, I think you guys should have already had the answer. Give you guys a little time to think about it. So, what is going to be the next number after 54? 9, 87, 76, 65, 54. What is going to be the following number? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's look at the answers that I have in the chat. 98, 87, 76, 65, 54. What am I doing to each number? Who can tell me what's the pattern rule here?
Subtracting.
You're taking away
11.
You're taking away 11. Very good. So now if I have 54 and I minus 11 from 54, I get 43. Very good, everybody. Very good. So now let's look at the last one. The last one is 2, 4, 6, 8 blank and then 12. That one is very, very easy. So what is the number that is at the question mark? What number should be there? All right. What number should be there? Okay, in the chat, in the chat. Goodness. Okay, guys. Okay. So I have everybody putting in 10. Very good. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and then 12. Very good work, everybody. Very good. So now, what we're going to be doing right now is that I'm going to talk about the assignment that I have posted in Google Classroom. This is the first one. The first one is a little bit more about you guys thinking about what you have, what picture you're gonna choose, what thing in nature that you're gonna choose, and then how it is that you're gonna answer the questions in regards to that specific one. So this assignment has two parts, right? This is the first one that I have posted. It's called Week 4 Learning Activity 1. And the first section, it says students will engage in collecting an image. So I want one picture of something in creation that demonstrates or represents a number pattern. So yesterday I had given you guys examples. We had talked about a mom, then her child, then that child's children, then those children's children, and those children's children. That is a pattern. You can talk about nature and the different leaves on a tree. You can talk about things that that man had made but still are a part of creation. For example, the days of the week is a pattern. We can talk about the seasons, spring, summer, autumn, fall. I gave you guys a list of examples yesterday. So now what you have to do is that you're going to choose one thing in creation, and it could be anything that you want that represents a pattern. After you have chosen your picture, then you are going to say what kind of pattern it is. Does it look like an arithmetic pattern or does it look like a geometric pattern? For example, if I'm a mom and then I have a child and my child has children, we are multiplying, all right? And that is a geometric pattern. If you are looking at how many leaves a tree has, that is a geometric pattern because leaves produce more and more and more leaves. Animals and their children is a geometric pattern. If you want an arithmetic pattern, it's like, for example, days of the week. I have the first day, then I go to the second day, then I go to the third day, and I'm adding one more day. And that is an arithmetic pattern. And you could use your creativity when you choose an image. What is it going to be representing? You are going to take one typing sheet. You are going to write number patterns at the top. That is going to be your topic. You're going to put your picture or your drawing. If you can't get a picture, you do a drawing. A drawing works perfect. And then at the bottom, you're going to tell me, my picture of a flower represents an arithmetic pattern because it shows addition or subtraction. My picture shows a geometric pattern because it is showing multiplication. That is what I want to see on this part of the assignment. Everybody understands what they're going to be doing for this part?
Yes.
Very good. So now I have an example here, and this one is a little bit more complex. I would suggest that you guys keep to arithmetic and geometric because those are the simplest and the easiest ones. But If somebody chooses a sunflower represents a Fibonacci sequence. All right. And it's a little bit more complex. You have to be very, very into wanting to study mathematics for you guys to see how the sunflower seed pattern represents the Fibonacci sequence. But this is an example. Now, what you are going to be doing after you have done, so after you have completed your number pattern, your drawing, and your sentence, you are going to go to the second part. And the second part is writing a reflection. And you guys write reflections for chapel all the time, every week. But this one is going to be a little bit longer. I want at least 4 sentences. 4 sentences is the shortest. Lo menos es 4. Nada menos que 4, right? Nothing less than 4. You can write more than that, but I don't want a whole long story. I don't want you guys to exaggerate either, all right? So you will write what is called a field learning experience reflection. It's a complicated name for something very simple. So this entire weeks that have passed, we have been talking about number patterns in creation. We have talking about creation, fall, redemption, restoration. I want you guys to write a short little paragraph, and your paragraph has to begin with this. Because of my FLE, I am, and you will continue writing. So everybody's paragraph has to start with the same thing. Because of my FLE, I am more knowledgeable about creation. I am more confident in number patterns. I am smarter in number patterns. Whatever it is, because of my FLE, I am, and you continue that sentence. And that is your first sentence. I want you guys to answer these 3 questions in your reflection. The first one, how can you continue your involvement in being a creation enjoyer? Now, what is a creation enjoyer? It is somebody that enjoys creation. I know and you know that God created everything. And because God created everything, then we enjoy what He created. I enjoy everyday creation. I go outside and I breathe the air. I am enjoying creation. I go outside and I sit down under the tree. I am enjoying creation. So what is at least one thing that you can do to continue enjoying creation? If you are gonna say, I'm gonna water my plants, I'm gonna play with my animals or my pets, I'm going to plant a tree. Those are things that you can do to be creation enjoyers. The second question, how has this experience affected your understanding of how God calls you to live? So now, after we have done, this is our 3rd week. So we have talked about number patterns, and we have talked about creation, and we have seen how you can see number patterns. Yes.
Needs
Yes, ask your question.
in the one of the pictures, in the work of the pictures, you only need one picture, or it can be more.
You only need one, but if you think about more than one, you can put more than one, right? But I am only asking for one. So now this second question, as I was saying, has this experience, how have you grown? What have you understood? So we have talked about creation, fall, redemption, restoration. And in our restoration, we say creation care is our gift of thanks to God. So what have you understood? What have you learned more about God and how God has worked in your life because of what I have taught to you guys, because of what you have learned? How it is that what have you learned more about God? This is what this question is asking you. And in the last question, it says, we focused on being God worshippers. Yesterday and every week, I mentioned my deep hope. And in my deep hope, I say, for us to be God worshippers and creation enjoyers. Those are what we call through lines. There are 8 more through lines. I want you guys to choose one other through line that you can see in this unit. What other through line could have Miss Mai talked about that she did not mention in this unit? Anybody has any questions?
No, Miss.
Okay, so I have a question for you guys. What are the other through lines? Anybody knows? Nobody knows
What did you say, Miss?
What are the other through lines? So the last question asks you guys for another through line. I already spoke about 2 through lines. I spoke about creation enjoyers and I spoke about being God worshippers. Those are 2 out of the 10. So in total, we have 10 through lines. What is another through line? Or who knows what the through lines are? Do you know what they are? Yes or no?
I don't know, Miss. I don't know one, but it's discovers.
Very good. I have Earth Keepers in the chat, and another one is Order Discoverers. There is Idolatry Discerners. There is Beauty Creators. There are 10 of them. So now what I am going to be doing is that I will put them in Google Classroom for you guys, right? You will look at the list of them, and you don't have to really know about them. What they mean is in the name. Creation enjoyers is enjoying creation. God worshippers is worshiping God. Beauty creators is when you create something beautiful. Earth keepers is when you take care of the earth. All right. So what they mean is in the name of the through line. So I am going to be posting the 10 through lines in Google Classroom, and you guys will go to where I will post them. I will post them in the stream. I won't post them in the classwork. I'll post them in the stream, and then you guys can go ahead and look at the list and you can choose one from there. So your little 4 sentences or your little paragraph has to tell me, because of my FLE, I'm smarter, I am more knowledgeable, I am more confident, I am more excited, and so forth. The second question, how have you been a creation enjoyer? How will you continue being a creation enjoyer? The last one, how have you grown about, how have you learned more about God? And the third one, what is another through line? So those are the things that I want you guys to write in your little paragraph. Yes, I know it's time. You have 3 more minutes. Okay, so anybody has any questions with this first assignment that I have explained?
No, Miss.
Very good. Very good, very good, very good. So tomorrow, this is what I want you guys to have for tomorrow. In your notebooks or on a folder sheet, I want you guys to write the number patterns, the worksheet number 2. I want you guys to write the 10 questions, write the numbers, leave the 3 spaces, and you leave a space at the bottom so that we can write the name of the pattern. So that is, we are working with the worksheet tomorrow. So that is what you have to do tonight for tomorrow's class. Who said
I
miss?
already done. I already sent it.
Very good, Alan. Yes, I remember you told me. Then you can just cross check your answers with the class tomorrow, because that is what I have planned for us to do tomorrow. All right. So have a great rest of day, everybody, and I will see you guys tomorrow for class.
Bye, Miss. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye, Miss.
Bye.
Bye, Miss.
Bye.
Oh, happy birthday. Bye, Miss.
Bye.
Bye, Miss.
Bye.
Bye, Miss.
Bye.
Miss. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Miss, today's your birthday.
No, it's not today.
Okay, Miss.
Bye, Miss.
Bye.
The 15th?
It's not the 15th. That is the question for today. So I'll be posting the question in a little while.
Miss, you'll give me hints. Have a good day.
Thank you, Amirani. Yes, I'll post a hint.
Bye, Miss. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, Miss.
Bye.
Bye, Miss.
Bye.